All rise. We will obey. Please be seated. We will swear.
We're in open session, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. The court officer will make a correction on the ERN number on the transcript. I'm helped in confusing her. But also, counsel, please, when you have a document to enter or exhibit, enter. It will be very, very helpful and avoid confusion if the ERN number is read out ahead of time, accompanying the announcement or the request to tender the material onto the record.
I will watch out on that, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. The correct ERN number of the recently admitted EVD T D11 00029 is Ken OTP 0106 0477.
Thank you. Mr. Keegan-Kapsel, please continue.
Mr. Witness, the last question I'd asked you was I'd asked you to confirm that having initially had these and many others, you would agree that eventually from this process that Mr. Sang was doing at the station, that the Council of Elders was eventually constituted. Do you remember that question, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, your answer was, I can't say it was because of Mr. Sang, Your Honor. It was Mr. Sang was working for CAS FM, and he was hosting people who were coming to sell the idea of Kalenjin Council of Elders for the people, Your Honor. You recall that, Mr. Witness, as your answer?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then the next question I'd asked you is that you confirm that the idea of the Council of Elders was not an idea exclusively conceived by Mr. Sang.
It was not started by Mr. Sang, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, Mr. Sang, together with the other people who mooted the idea, eventually managed to create the Council of Elders, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, one last question on the part that we've played. Could you confirm that in that audio, Mr. Sang is saying that the purpose of the Council of Elders is to bring together all the 10 sub-tribes of Kalenjins?
I confirm, Your Honor.
And also to advise politicians and to advise church members and to generally give advice.
I had politicians, not church members, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, I want to play a small part of the interview that Mr. Sang subsequently conducted on the same audio.
I hope it's not about church members, is it?
Mr. President, it is part of what we played. I don't want to go back there. I can live with the answer that the witness has given.
Fair enough.
Yes. Mr. President, I want to play timestamp 17.54 to 18.01, and that is at page D11 0013 0201. And with the assistance of the court officer, I would request to give the witness the timestamp.
Did you mention the tab and transcript?
Mr. President, I did. It is tab 19, and the reference is Ken D11 0013 0200. Mr. President, I request for just half a minute. Mr. Witness, please listen.
Kasiti shembeta brani rani gutari tamana sitara tap sogol ganyi tabil wayan sogol impetu tap komut kasi harap sang studio
agara triza cherura tigere kasiti sek impetu ni brani kasi.
Mr. Witness, could you confirm what you heard? The small clip that I've just played says today's newspapers. Today is Friday, the 18th September 2009. Arab sang in the studio. And then you have a voice of a lady who says, together with me, Trisa Cherorod, and we are looking at today's newspapers. In the Standard, one headline says, a man with one option. Can you confirm that is what you had, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
The spellings, Your Honor, is Trisa is T-R-I-Z-A, and Cherorot is C-H-E-R-O-R-O-T. Now, Mr. Witness, from the document I gave you, the transcription and translation that you have, could you tell the court what is the date of that audio?
18 September 2009, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, could you confirm it also says Friday?
Your Honor, it is 18 September 2009, no Friday, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, if you don't mind, just look at the whole line. Let me read it to you. Today's newspapers. Today is Friday, the 18th of September. Could you confirm that, Mr. Witness? That is page 2, Mr. Witness. Line 2.
Yes, Your Honor, I confirm.
Did you also hear that in the audio?
The audio has not been played, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, it was, but let's play it again.
ay tap sogol ganyi tabil wayan sog kasiti shembeta brani rani gutari tamana sitara tap sogol ganyi tabil wayan sogol impetu tap komut kasi harap sang studio
agara triza cherura tigere.
I confirm, Your Honor.
You confirm having had Friday, 18th and 18th September 2009, isn't it, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also confirm that it indicates that one of the newspapers, specifically the Standard newspaper, has a report headlined, "A Man with One Option."
Yes, Your Honor.
One moment. It needs to be indicated between line 6 and 7 that audio was played, after which the witness said he confirmed.
Now, Mr. Witness, you would, in that circumstance, confirm that, in fact, the Council of Elders was composed in the year 2009 or subsequent to September 2009, as opposed to the year 2007 when you said?
Your Honor, I have not listened to the audio, and what was said, there is nothing about the Council of Elders, Your Honor. What I've heard, there is nothing about the Council of Elders, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, do you remember us playing an audio which was to this effect? I will read what we went through a moment ago.
Counsel, before you do that, you know what the confusion is, don't you? The confusion was that the witness has not listened to the entire audio. You began your questioning the last time by going to the middle. I'm presuming that it is still the same audio. We don't know. I'm presuming. You went to the middle of the transcript we see here. You asked them questions, but now you've gone to the beginning of the transcript. So that is a confusion. It's not the witness's failure to see it. It's just he hasn't seen it.
Mr. Witness, this is the same audio that I played to you a moment before we went for break, which had these words: "Thank you very much, House of Kalenjin, wherever you are tuned in. The time has come for CAS Plenary today, this Friday, as has been indicated in the past weeks, in view of the Kalenjin people. The time has come to launch a Kalenjin Council of Elders." Do you recall that, Mr. Witness?
Your Honor, I recall, and I would like to say that when Joshua Sang was talking to the three elders, he was saying it was evening. It was not in the morning, Your Honor. And this one is in the morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, I'll give you the transcript. I quite don't remember having had evening, but I'll give you the transcript, then you can look at it and identify where the Friday is said.
Can you play the audio again?
Mr. President,
The clip.
No.
The clip he just heard.
Mr. Witness, we will play again the clip. Whose document you have before you now?
So as to help the witness with his proposition that what he heard was in the morning broadcast.
Tap sogol ganyi tabil buyan sogol impetu tap kumut kasi harap sang studio.
Agana triza cherura kigera kaseti sek impetu ni brand kasita the standard kumwagule a man with one option.
Not a
Mr. Witness, could you confirm whether there is any indication of what time of the day it is from the audio you've just listened to?
This was in the morning, Your Honor.
And is that found in the transcript and the audio you just listened to, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you point out where that is, Mr. Witness, from the transcript you have?
I can read it, Your Honor. Today's newspaper. Today is Friday, the 18th day of September 2009. Arab Sang in studio, Your Honor.
Apart from that, I noticed you read the transcript. Apart from the transcript, having listened to the audio clip, was there anything indicated in the audio clip that told you that what you heard was in the morning?
Yes, Your Honor. They were reviewing magazines in the morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, I'd like to give you the transcript, page 26 of the same audio, and that is Ken D11 0013 0225. And I would like you to look at it and confirm if you can see the time of this broadcast. Mr. Witness, could you confirm that at page 26, Ken D11 0013 0225, this is what Mr. Sang says. Yes, dear listener, The time now is 7:02 in Nairobi. My request to you is that you keenly pay attention to the discussion so that when we ask you questions later, we will have understood the discussion. We started this discussion on Friday, where we have hosted elders to address emerging issues among Kalenjin. In our investigation, we agreed that one thing where we have failed is that we have no community plans to protect our community, rules, and regulations. So we reached the decision that the root cause of this is we no longer have a sitting of elders or council of elders to guide our ways. Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Are you able to estimate the time of this broadcast from that, Mr. Witness?
Your Honor, what I was saying is that the first audio, it was in the evening, and there were 3 people who were being interviewed by Mr. Sang. And this is, if it was a continuation, I can't say this was in the morning, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, would it help you if I play the same audio so that you confirm where you had evening, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I would.
Your Honor, so I will play again the first audio, which is at page 20, Ken D11 0013 0219, all the way to Ken D11 0013 0222, page 23.
Misingotab Kalenjin eng tugul emite hoit kasarta noto betetut Kenya nebo kasalen emite betab rani komut kasi kuige mawek ngui chekikosirto ko eng keretab borietab Kalenjin ko kikengalale eng kasarta nekoikostoindetab Kalenjin akobo keretab taunet notok nebo boishek anan council of elders eng borietab Kalenjin kikobo boishek cheterterchin studio chekikengalal ngalek chechang mising chetokyingei taunetab noto ko council of elders noto ko ingimuchi kele kirwogetab boishek anan ko tuyetab boishek neimuchi kengalale ngalek chechang mising akotor chambi chemwa ngalek chechang kole noye nguko matami chepyoso nguko matani ne kosubkei ak listini kasoman lakini komwa kole kiasomani kityo kou noto lakini komi biik chebwone sinyoko komwowok ngalek tugul tetutik tugul kotokyingei ne ko biik chemi nguno kikure facilitation committee biik iumi kabwatutik chu asikobit kotoiki kokimwoe kele akoi kobit biik chetauge yekakobit kounoto ketestai tugul anyun eng oretab kecheng oret nekisuldae ngalechu tugul ko kounoto komitei boishek studio chechoto komeche sikomwowech kabwatet eng ngalechu tugul ak tokyinet akoi anyun tun keityi maketab kenyoru council of elders chechoto kobo Kalenjin kinget kele kot age tugul kotindoi ngo Nandi Kipsigis Keion cho tugul kotindoi chi tugul lakini kakimeche as kibwat kele tos kinyoru agenge nebo Kalenjin kokiyomyo kabwatutikab biikab Kalenjin kobun boishek kobun kipsomaninik chok sikobit kiro oret nekimuchi keserune bororiet amu kikemwa atkan tugul kele chang ngalek chenome bororiet chengap ikwonge chito ile ne nekimuchi keyai sikobit keser bororiet ko ngomami kabwatutik chekororon kobun biik cheimuchi kotebi ngony koui mising amu imuchi kobit ngalek ketiegei mising biikab bolotet eng sait age komi tuguk alake cheechen chekotokitoreti akot akichek eng kabwatutik anan eng toretet age tugul kouit ngoba kanisa kora komi ngap kouikitu kora kot ko biikab kanisa akichek kolen oye kotakinyoru biik chekototoretech kobun atebet kobun boishonik ko eng tugul kotameche komi biik che kemuchi kengalale ngalechu eng oretab keweiwei asikobit kenyor oret nekararan ko oret agenge ko tokyinetab kei ketoi kibagenge nito ko katuyetab kei nebo biikab Kalenjin tugul choto chekikobirwek Jehova kotuswek choto 10 choto kikimongu kou Kipsigis Nandi Keiyo Tugen Marakwet.
Mr. Witness, could you confirm if you have heard anywhere that it is evening this far?
Your Honor, I confirm it was in the morning, Your Honor.
Additionally, Mr. Witness, just to be sure, you heard Mr. Sang in this timestamp 49.21 say, "Thank you very much, House of Kalenjin, wherever you are tuned in. This time has come for the Kas Lene today, this Friday, as has been indicated in the past weeks. In view of the Kalenjin people, the time has come to launch a Kalenjin Council of Elders." You remember having heard that in Kalenjin, Mr. Witness?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, the particular reference to Kas Lene is made in that audio, isn't it?
I didn't understand your question, Your Honor.
That audio says specifically the program is Kas Lene, isn't it?
It was Lene, Your Honor.
And you confirmed earlier on in the entirety of your testimony that that program is normally conducted in the morning, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, I just wanted you to confirm that you were mistaken in saying that the Council of Elders was put together in the period around 2007, that in fact it was put together past September 2009, the date of this audio.
Your Honor, I would like to say one thing. I have not even known the relationship between the 18th of September 2009 and the day which is only known as Friday from the other thing. There is no date for this. It's only a Friday. Then again, Your Honor, when you listen to Mr. Sang clearly, he says that it was a continuation. It was, if at all this can be proved, as that it was on 18th of September 2009. Mr. Sang had earlier on said that it was a journey which was continuing. It didn't start on 18th of September 2009, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, you had earlier on told us that this is one of the audios you heard Mr. Sang calling up to people to support the idea of the Council of Elders, isn't it?
Your Honor, I said maybe it's one of which I've heard because I had many of them, Your Honor.
May I ask you very directly, Mr. Witness, is there any possibility that you are mistaken as to when the Council of Elders was put together?
There is no possibility that I'm mistaken, Your Honor.
And you want to say you are absolutely sure that it was before the year 2007?
What I can say, Your Honor, is that...
I object to that. Just one second. Your Honor, I object to that. For a couple of minutes already, we've been dealing with this subject matter of the creation or the formation of the Council of Elders. As I've stated before, it's sometimes useful to just reread the parts of the transcript where the witness spoke about that, the creation of the Council of Elders, because it's not as clear-cut as defense counsel is putting it to the witness. And now we're entering a realm where the questions are even more specific, and we still haven't reread that portion to the witness. I can give the reference number to defense counsel if he wishes on this point, and he can reread it. It's not as clear-cut as the questions would seem it to be. And I think we need to be fair with the witness in this regard, which is important because he's testified on it, and clearly now there's a bit of confusion on the matter.
Objection overruled.
I'm obliged, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, let me ask you sequentially the question. Do you recall me asking you when the Council of Elders was put together, Mr. Witness?
I don't recall, Your Honor.
You don't remember me asking you when could the Council of Elders have been put together?
I recall, Your Honor, and I answered it was before 2007.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. That's exactly what you said. Now, my question, Mr. Witness, is this. Having seen that this broadcast that was made by Mr. Sang was September 2009, would you admit that you could be mistaken as to when the Council of Elders was composed?
Your Honor, my answer is that even though it was 18 September 2009, there was a journey of which it started, and we have not yet known when exactly did the idea come out to the Kalenjin community. We are only seeing 18th of September. And Mr. Joshua Sang on the audio was direct that it was a journey and it was not the first. It was not the first people whom he was hosting. He said he has been hosting many people, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, I just want you to speak for yourself. I want you to answer the question very directly. Could you be mistaken as to when the Council of Elders was created? Just answer that question directly.
I'm not mistaken, Your Honor. And I can say that creation, I don't understand the meaning of creation, and I would like to be told the meaning of creation, because what I understand by creation is what exactly the idea came and being sold to the Kalenjin community on.
Mr. Witness, all I'm saying is that before the year 2009, there was no Council of Elders. Would you agree with that?
Your Honor, even listening to the audio which Joshua was speaking, he was mentioning that there were some people who have been selected from various parts or from various communities. And I understand that was the process of the Council of Elders, Your Honor.
But the lawyer's question is, you need to listen to it. He's now asking you a question from your own understanding. He's saying that there was no Council of Elders before 2009. He's asking you whether or not you agree with that suggestion he makes.
I don't agree, Your Honor.
Mr. President, to avoid arguing with the witness, I'll move on to a different part of my cross-examination.
Please move on. Please move on.
Now, Mr. Witness, I want to play another part of the same audio for you, and that is Ken D11 0013 0243. And I'm playing timestamp 1.34.24 to 1.37.15, and I request the assistance of the court officer.
Kung mising Arab sambu eng oret abi ke jangora ko buatin bi golle kolongo idea ini anan go buatu tieni kumobo takine tab ke ngalega bolatet amu uni ki go jut bolatet 90% na bag mugul met.
Mr. Witness, have you been able to trace the place in the transcript?
It's page 43. I can give me the page on.
Mr. Witness, it is page 44, the last paragraph, and you can see 90% somewhere.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, just follow it as it plays, Mr. Witness.
This is a political game. This is a political idea. Piju kumejo kwa ike gole mutai kitoror chito. Ne magmaje anangu toror chito ne magmaje ingalega bolatet. So kwa maje anale how ni in ki conference ni yetakin ge go tuja biju. Kumonga dole kebeberta bolatet kwata ingale juta ju. Tetetap kokwetap Kalenjin Council of Elders. Percentage nebo politics in it. Anan ko politician ko involves ko egije ci kurje ngalejo ko une tos miji ne kurje ngalejo ndege mujige magele miji ta bolotet ne poishoni jo ko jeget anan poishoni ko boko linjen inga bwateta le chula na be man ndege le independent ni mo tunda chutine tapke ngalega bolotet
Kongoi Joshua Arap Sang ngaliot nagete ako ngaliot mi parag ngemetitap chitugul. Ang kabwatutik ab chitugul eng ole kete ole kikebe kotebe ng'olyonto noto bo ng'alekab siasa. Kama jamu uno kotale kingo pa muma kapsabit ane kikawa chairman Arab sei. Ngalian na isi koteb nandia ko kait Arab sei kapsabit kotebe kule aktimin ni nagimitukul. Te akwangwa. Tos mi jina pa siasa urit unungwang college mami. Ko kinge tao ngalian tani Arab sang agot tinge bagari cholin aku gina muaji tukul ngolete ole mejitap putit kolen netai komagumoche negile political activist. Neboaing komo teshichi ne mi siasa nguno. Anango ne tokomoche kochut siasa. Amagumoche chi negikure sycophant. Mangen ole sycophant kone nandi.
Chi neisubi chi jamu chi.
Pas.
Kanan Arab sei to
Ile njina bo chi.
pas kawan.
Ko nguno sa tarun ngalianta na Arab sang komami siasa oritini. Agot kebwane yu kogogubuno tuguk chak tuyoshek chak chekyae tugul ngel duet betusiek choto koy gas karibu aeng keboisie tuguk chak mami utap chi nebo siasa. Ama bwate le chitorit. Ko nguno kemoche kehakikishanji biik chak kele ki kotilil. Agay nebo kosop biik chak nebo betusiek chebwane.
Mr. Witness, I request that you listen to me and confirm if this is what you had in Kalenjin. Thank you so much, Sambu. There are those who also think that this idea is another political tool. I think 90% of a person's life revolves around politics. And when such a thing comes up, they say it's a political idea. They only want to use it to popularize the person that they want. So I just want to know what it is that will unite the people in this upcoming conference. What is the proportion of politics in the formation of the council? Are there political leaders driving this initiative for their benefit, or is it Kalenjin affair? We want to ascertain that it is an independent process with no links to politics. Thank you. This is what Mr. Sambu responds. Thank you, Joshua, for raising that question, because it is in everybody's mind. Wherever we go, we are asked the same question. Even when we went to Kapsabet, the first thing they asked us is who has sent us. Wherever we have gone after starting off this process, Sang, people have been categorical that they neither want political activists, nor anybody in active politics, nor political aspirants, nor sycophants. I don't know the term for sycophant. Then Sang says, one who follows another blindly. Then Sambu goes on. Yes, Sei. Yes, Sei says it is one who belongs to another. And that's enough. And then goes on. To conclude, there is nothing political in this, all the way from the grassroots. We have spent our money in all meetings we have held, including those held in Eldoret for the past 2 months. Nobody has given us a hand. So I would like to assure our people that this thing is clean. We are doing it for the benefit, for the future benefit of our people. Mr. Witness, is that a fair translation of what you had?
It is, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, I want you to look at page 46, Ken D11 0013 0245, and confirm the last sentence is this. No, I'll read the whole paragraph. To conclude, there is nothing political in all this, all the way from grassroots. We have spent our money in all meetings we held, including those held in Eldoret for the past 2 months. Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
The last paragraph, Your Honor, of page 46.
Yes, the English paragraph of what we just heard, Mr. Witness. Starting with the words, to conclude.
It's
Yes.
in the middle of it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Witness, my interest is in the use of the words "for the past 2 months." Can you see that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, if this interview was being conducted in September, 2 months would mean that the process of putting together the Council of Elders started 2 months before September, which brings it to about July, isn't it, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the witness responded merely to your mathematical calculation.
I am happy with that answer, Mr. President, even if it's a question of just answering a mathematical question.
Mr. Keegan Katwa, please do make a note to explore, if it doesn't take you out of your stride at some point. In the last portion you read in, there was a reference to upcoming conference. We will be interested in knowing what that is about.
It is part of my case, Mr. President. I intend to cover that.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Witness, you will also confirm that the emphasis placed by Mr. Sehi, who you confirm later on became the chairman, and Mr. Sambu, who was being interviewed, is that this process is non-political.
As they said, Your Honor, I remember they said so, or Mr. Joshua was asking them so, because the people from the grassroots were crying it is a political issue, and they were trying to tell the people it is not a political issue, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. So you would confirm that, in fact, Mr. Sang emphasized that it is a non-political initiative?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Line 8, the witness said people from the grassroots were crying. Please proceed.
Now, Mr. Witness, I would like to take you to a different issue, being the Mr. President, I would like to go to tab 21, and I would like to play an audio for the witness and then ask him a few questions. Mr. President, the audio is Ken D11 0013 0071, and I propose to play timestamp 12.42 to 19.21. The translation of the portion I want to play is at D11 0013 0274. I would request for the assistance of the court officer to give a copy to the witness.
Bogongoi amachogur Joshua Arap Sang negiek ankaman en kabarastai ab ngalekab kokwoni nyo. Joshua Arap Sang, karibu amache mwanga lo ingityo.
Mr. Witness, Mr. Witness, do you recognize that voice?
I don't recognize the voice, Your Honor.
I'll request to give request the court officer to give him this document.
Kage songele telele asigo gerin diju.
Uzuri gumogera ogase. Magieta na nota.
Mr. Witness, can you recognize the voice that has just come up?
Joshua Sang, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, can you see the transcript of what you are looking at page 3, D110013 0274?
Page 3?
Yes, page 3, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll go on with the audio. Please follow it.
So,
1 minute, if we can just stop that. Your Honor, I understand, and maybe defense counsel can correct me, that this is not a broadcast of something that was aired on CAS FM. Is that correct?
Mr. President, this was aired from CAS FM. I can explain, but I would rather explain that after the witness has listened.
I just wanted to make sure on that point. It seemed I didn't have any other indication on the document.
And this was aired on the 24th of October 2009. Mr. Witness, please listen.
Waziri, kandoik tugul, chairman, kogotab myot, kochomegei. Abaibai nera, amu ngalek chekiking'alal, komoib soet. Chemokingen. Kasarta eng betutab rani, nakakotogo eng boisionik ab kotab kitwek, kotab myot, nekakikochi kainet age. Ongen ale kikimwa ngalek chechang ako kikebun lelo, kimi kandoikyok tugul, chebo bolotet, chebo kanisa, ak tugul. Kochang ngalek chetestai bororiet. Kokikesis ak keteb kele kibendi akoi keit ano, koite ng'o ak keyoe ne. Kirwoch ak keng'alal tugul, koit boroindo nekikikochi boisiechu boroindo koba studio, asikecheng kewaiwai tugul ak kebe tor kele ne nekeyoe asikobit kobit koek tekisto biikab kitwek. Konyo, kingen tugul kele chang tuguk chekikuchulachule kong. Mabich kokabunot, mangalek kokasirtoi, maboisionik kokachunda, matebet neketustusok. Kocho tugul ko kiyaak amu mi kiy nekibet. Kiyoto kibet eng konyo konoto kichenge nguni. Awamuchi olos Jehova ale oye kakoit yekatuyo kotab kitwek lagok 10 chebo chichak chekakekure rani kotab myot ko ne misire noto konyo. Ongen ale kiketyem owok tugul kero kele kakiitu kasarata. Konin kole Kipsigin kotomeche amuchigei. Kole nondindet ane nebo kiboretiet amiyu. Kole kiyot akine chechiket komwa nebo kwony kole kometong tulwet barak. Kole bokot kometong kot orit buch amami kiy. Ako ng'alalchon tugul komwa chakamwa. Kele ii ara kakimetegei kouni, kakininkei kouni, kakisergei kouni, ko emet ko ni makotinye tai ak let. Kibendi ano? Ko kito netai kokewei katebenyo kecheng ole kikibetye. Ole kikibetye ko amu kimatikitutosigei ak keng'alal eng kotab bois eng ko. Kong'alal chitugul kimni, kong'alal chitugul kong'alale age lolet eng tuguk chekomi lolet, kong'alale age malik chekikiberurchi, kong'alale age kutit, kong'alale age teget netindoi, lakini kikitano. Kikiro ak kingen tugul. Makimeche kibwotyigei chekikwak, lakini imukoksei keng'ete eutou ak ketokchigei ole boibochin Jehova, ole boibochin Kenya, ole boibochin konyot tugul. Amu yeisera ng'alek akobet atep eng lagokyok, kobet ibin eng biikyok, kobet eitunoto eng chi age tugul. Ne chitugul kongen, inyoru lakwa koleni amunee o, ako nelechin o ko kwang, ko kakibe ano. Kuleji mama, iya mune, ngole na kinyo kuichip top queen. Kwa kita no. Lakini mie, apa iba na wasurire mulan tanyo, boy boy yet. Wa ko tuyo ko top kituguni, aso kabit kerore. So ko medyo kityo sa mole, kitinye kita ageng gawanyo, ni mong ganole gilyo ni Jehovah. Sito ko jute juri, ako barbare, ko kiyat me to agiyan. Ko gilyo medyo ga tuyo ni. Hello ye, magmajo wonji tuguki. Among wonji taga tuguki, kumabaw niya lebet to. Ngonya ka bain jita inye, kung gumanda mo ay kumende hospital, lagi lagwa mi amitwagi yu. Kung giwa kumye, iner kumye lengi po anam. Kung ogi le kagmaje tayo gonyo, nakagun tugu, kasakabit kaya pa tuyo ni. Asakolya, sumabunji chi. Anan sa magem chi, ako bunji edek tugul. Lagi ni kongut, mora ba? Kongut amu, tuguk cho ko bwa, kumanda bijung yu. Kuwage bor, lagi ni kumita deni. Manda kuwage bor, gele kuwage jur ko tap miot, kage tebi kumnye, lagi ni mita deni. Kamita mo ne. Amu tugu ki wo berurwe kyo ba ko katangul, age siste, kele tai, guma magura kuto no mo jabane. Guma wa no kuto no mo jabane. Lagi ni guma jo sabor yeti, ko tai ge jetindoy, ko tai ge jo matindoy, ini mo jitinye asugo sapor. Kuyigi ngololi guni ongen mugoi oger guruya biju taun kupje jiga gore oyam agi etiero lagini ko jero be no to go intek na ko usagong amu mogi goji kigitkin nigi buge go ko manda tay ko go be jo so ma do go ama ma deng tuyoni ko sige gon gerebe ke mete kigitkin ne itinye asigi wongne baishoni ongen mi bi ko gon agelen gongoi ngobiro Jehova mogo nu amugo mujo nyurgi ogo nu amongen paninyindo agit nago te kibinwe aglago kyo go ngete ngune go batai wale jine boysik mo geri jine boysik chume ag maine cho ko ribe jaje ribe ngo ju na nyun ti joge tagala kita ni ribe ko got nago telel ne mi gonyo ne mo mi siasa ne mo mi terjine tap kanisa ne mo mi git ngo ni ilengi to goto miot ko sopor gie ko ngoy misen intuyoni wale ngi te Jehova Switch, amata ke tilet. Namwe go taptai, hebe tukul amata ke saske. Mato wirege kugiri jitukul amata ke nge chogu mojita kwali bil mogi balage ke la. Ame mo itanga lego op kong sang. Igle tum tanya mana lem, lagi nugo ko ba yijega. Mutia go gongoy.
Konsom the Chief Executive Officer nebo KSFM Julius Arab Ramon igoti sekju miano ngale mitiyu oh karibu Julius chuto asjugo utie kabisa kugone moyo ole kitoboni ngelo
Kota miat to chamege nya kata go gen chamege apa ipa inu historia nagagay.
Mr. Witness, I would like to make out the English translation of what you just heard and request you to confirm if that's what you heard. Could you confirm that you heard the voice of somebody who refers to himself as Major John Sei?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Could you confirm that John Sei invited Mr. Joshua Sang to address the crowd?
I confirm, Your Honor.
And this is what Mr. John Say said. Joshua Sang became the anchorman for doing that. Welcome, Joshua. I want you to speak only 2 words. Please stand there so that these people can see you. Then Mr. Sang talks to this effect. The good thing is that even if you cannot see me, you can hear me. I was not denied that. Minister, leaders, chairman, and the House of Miot, greetings. I am happy because all we spoke of did not go in vain. We now have the opportunity to complete the plans of Miot community. We have said many things and have come far. We have wondered as to where our destiny is and who will take us there. After brainstorming with the elders that came to the studio, we came with the resolution. with a resolution. We know that there are many things that have been poking our eyes: passing words, lost jobs, and decay in moral fabric. All this happened because we had lost something, and that is what we are searching for now. I can now praise God because it is finally here. What can be more important than when Kitwek, the 10 siblings of Mute, unite? What we need to do is look back and find when the rains started beating us. We lost our way because we were no longer meeting together to discuss issues. We all spoke individually, and you saw where we ended. I do not want us to go back to what has happened, but it is possible for us to move from here to where God, Kenya, and our community are pleased. The spelling of Miot is M-I-O-T. And Kitwek is K-I-T-W-E-K. When the moral fabric decays, where will we be headed? It is good, and I'm filled with joy when members of Kitwek meet like this to find direction. There is only one issue, and I hope that God will intervene and touch our hearts. When we were planning this meeting, we decided that this meeting should not be financed by an individual, but rather by the community, so that it is not owned by the individual financing it. Page 61, line 27 should state, line 17 should state, there is only one issue, and I hope that God will intervene and touch our hearts. I will proceed. However, it is a shame after completing our meeting, these people are living with a debt. We are living here happy that we have come together as Mute, yet we live with a debt because we are mean with God and with what God has given us. If we want community to move forward, everyone should contribute what they can. I urge, therefore, that we, as we come to the end of this meeting, we should have a small fundraising so that we can complete this work. I know that there are those that have sent their contributions, and I thank you. I know you did not do it for personal benefit, but so that you can leave a better world for the coming generations. We are no longer worried about the welfare of the Mina, that's Mina, and the Juma age sets. We can take care of those. Mina is M-A-I-N-A, and Juma is C-H-U-M-O. We can take care of those. I'm worried about our children and those that will come after them. What will protect them is a home without politics, denominational differences, and individuality. That is the home of Mute. I thank this meeting, and I pray to God that we may never turn back. Let us no longer look down upon ourselves and air our dirty linen. It was said that Makibalge Kelat, and the spelling of that is M-A-K-I-B-A-L-E-K-E-I, and then K-E-L-A-T. And that our traditional rituals should not be shared with outside communities. But today they are the ones presiding over it. It is very sad. Thank you. Page 62, line 16 should, line 17 should state that let us no longer look down upon ourselves and air our dirty linen. Mr. Witness, is that a fair translation of what you heard?
It is, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witness. I want to play another part of the same audio, timestamp 2.25.
Mr. King Katwa, what's your point? With a witness, that is. We don't want to sit and listen to all kinds of audio and transcript, hoping that you will make the point eventually. If you can make the point, it's better to do that so it orients us in terms of what the point is about.
Mr. Witness, you said that you listened to KSFM live broadcast of the Council of Elders meeting at which the council members were elected, didn't you?
I didn't say I listened to it live, Your Honor. But I listened to it because when I listen now, I agree that I listened to it, Your Honor.
Confirm that you heard this broadcast?
Yes, Your Honor.
And it is a broadcast of the process at which the elders sat and elected their officials, isn't it, Mr. Witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I can't say it was the process. I don't know if it was the process of which they were already elected or they were electing themselves there, Your Honor. But that was the function of that day, Your Honor.
And Mr. Witness, you remember the audio that I played just immediately before this had said that we will be going into a conference to elect the Council of Elders. You recall that from the previous audio?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. President, I trust I have laid basis to go to the next item. Thank you very much, Mr. President. The timestamp is 2 minutes 25.37 to 2 minutes 28.44, and that is found at D11 0013 0288. Mr. Witness, if you look at page 17, if you could confirm you have page 17 with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
We will play the audio now.
Norito lini, lakini amacha asoma nengasisi, kukose ngwenyi, engolokose. Lakimwa kuuni, kukweta kota miot. Kwa resolutions anango tukuk chekakipitishan ko amache asoman en Kiingereza asi konyamnyumit en haraka. Ngotkia interpretation boyot koibe saishek chechang. Kakimwa kele all the Kalenjin sub-ethnic groups have resolved to call themselves kokwetab kotab miot. Kaketil kele en kainyon nebo Kalenjin ko kikure kokwetab kotab miot, yani elders chebo Kalenjin. Ko Kalenjin kekure kotab miot. Kokwetab kotab miot resolved to bring reconciliation among members and between members and neighbors. Kimache kalyet eng tugul eng achek ko orit ak eng biikab sang koboto biik chekimengchinsot tugul. Kamwa kokwetab kotab miot kole headquarters nebo kotab miot koiku Eldoret. Kokwetab kotab miot resolved to establish committees that will inform the council. Kichobe committees chechang chetoreten ko somanet, ko kabatisiet, ko environment, ko ngalekab emoni. Komite council chechobe. Kokwetab kotab miot resolved that its main objective is to act as the main organ of the kotab miot as the umbrella organization for the Pro-Yoshek Council of Elders in activating, advising, directing, and offering support to the diverse communities, cultures, traditions, customs, and general development. it shall be non-political. Number law, Komoagole, Kokweta Kota Miot, resolve that all members of the Court of Miot aged over 55 years shall be eligible for membership. Kokweta Kota Miot Council shall retain the right to co-opt members from bodies deemed eligible. The chairman of the Court of Miot shall chair council and board and shall be the official voice of the Court of Miot. Wago yoto bigchog kocho for resolutions tilage top embetu tabrani. Kamo I chairman ako somok unge nyoru one meeting asigatar tujon.
Your Honor, just before we move on, I'm sorry to disrupt my colleague. It's just that line, page 63, lines 13 to 15. I understand a precise question was asked by defense counsel. I'm rereading the answer, and it's not very clear. I'm not sure if defense counsel could possibly revisit that just to clarify what was said by the witness. It's page 63, lines 13 to 15, Your Honor. It's a question of whether he actually heard it or not, and the response, I'm not sure if it's been transcribed correctly, if that's the problem, or if that's verbatim what the witness said. It's just a clarification in that regard.
Okay, witness.
Your Honor.
Counsel's question to you was this. At the time, his question was, Mr. Witness, you said you listened to CAS FM live broadcast of the Council of Elders meeting at which the council members were elected, didn't you? And the transcript records your answer as this. I didn't say I listened to it live, Your Honor, but I listened to, when I listen now, I agree that I listened to it, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you repeat that answer? What were you trying to tell the court?
Your Honor, I was saying that I didn't mention into my statement that I listened to it live, and when I heard it from the audio, I recall that I listened to it live, Your Honor.
We'll leave it at that. Please proceed.
Mr. Witness, the translation may not be exactly accurate, but I want you to say that it is a fair translation of what you heard in Kalenjin, that the voice you heard was of one Mr. Major say, you say this. Let us be patient so that we can quickly wrap up. Let me read resolutions that we have come up with. These are, all the Kalenjin sub-ethnic groups have resolved to call themselves Kokwetap Kap Miat, and the spelling of Kokwetap is K-O-K-W-E-T-A-P, Kap is K-A-P, and Miat is M-I-O-T. Kokwetap Miat has resolved to bring reconciliation among and between members and neighbors. The headquarters for the Kokwetap Miat will be Eldoret. Kokwetap Miat resolves to form committees that will advise the council. It has resolved that its main role is to act as an umbrella organization for the various ethnic councils of Miat community and members in activating advising, directing, and offering support to the diverse communities and shall be non-political. It resolves that all members of the mute community over the age of 55 shall be eligible for membership. Shall be eligible, sorry. May I read that again? The mute council shall retain, it resolves that all members of the mute community over the age of 55 years shall be eligible for membership. The mute council shall retain the right to admit those that are eligible. The chairman of the council shall chair council meetings and be the official voice of mute. Could you confirm that that's what you had, Mr. Witness, generally?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Could you confirm also, Mr.
Counsel, when you say generally, I couldn't help but intervene to say that is a word that should be taken advisedly. It would appear to me that I heard in English words like cultural, a phrase like general development. I thought I heard that in the audio. Does that appear on the transcript, the translation?
Mr. President, I must say that the reason why I use the word generally is out of the consciousness that there are some words which were spoken in English, but even then are not here, and I apologize for that.
I thought I should flag it so that when later on we argue about what the witness agreed to, we have to keep in mind that we're talking about generally. Please proceed.
Only that I would like that to apply only to this audio, Mr. President. I am comfortable with the rest. Now,
I don't want to go so far. I'm just noting it's up to you and parties to make submissions you will need to make when the time comes.
I'm obliged, Mr. President. I'm sure the prosecution will take whatever objections they have. Mr. Witness, I'd like to ask you another question. You recall that at the end of this audio, and which is not in this translation, Major says that I'm saying this as the chairman of the mute council, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, a few questions, Mr. Witness. The first one is that you heard Mr. Sang in the first audio speak. Could you confirm that you didn't hear him make any reference to Mr. Ruto?
I didn't, Your Honor.
Could you also confirm that in this Council of Elders meeting, it was resolved very specifically that it shall be non-political?
I confirm, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Witness, I would like to take you lastly to page 1, Ken D11 0013 0272. Do you have it with you, Mr. Witness? Page 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Witness. Could you confirm on the face of it the date of the recording of that audio? On the face of it.
24th October 2009, Your Honor.
On the face of it, we mean what the document says.
Yes, that's what I mean, Mr. President. Mr. President, at this point, I request to produce this audio together with the translation as Mr. Sang's defense exhibit. The audio is Ken D11 0013 0071, and the translation is Ken D11 0013 0272.
Any objection?
The witness has confirmed that he heard that live, so the prosecution doesn't object, but always with the same caveat that subject to a verification of the translation further on. If we do see something, then we'll raise it with the chamber.
The document will be admitted, but I must say that the matter of the date of broadcast has not been explored with the witness. It has not been explored with the witness.
I'm very conscious of that, Mr. President. That's why I asked him on the face of it.
Thank you. The document is accepted then as the next in the Sang defense exhibits.
Thank you, Mr. President. The audio can D11-0013-0071 will bear the following number, EVD T D11-00032, and will also be referenced as Sang Defense Exhibit number 32. Its translation can D11-0013-0272 will bear the following number, EVD T D11-00033, and will also be referenced as Sang Defense Exhibit number 33. Both items will be registered as public.
Thank you.
Mr.
King Katwa, we have 10 minutes to lunchtime. How are we doing?
In all likelihood, I'll finish, Mr. President. Mr. Witness, did you say in the generality of your testimony that Mr. Sang was anti-Kikuyu? Did you say that, Mr. Witness?
I said, Your Honor.
And do you recall him accommodating the views of Kikuyus at KSFM?
Your Honor, I stated that Mr. Sang was, or KSFM was a business station, and I can't say that Mr. Sang was accommodating anyone, but it was the right of anyone, so long as you have bought airtime, you can go to KSFM, Your Honor, and air whatever you want to air.
And line 14, the gap there is an important one, but isn't it? The expression was anti-Kikuyu.
That's true, Mr. President. Now, Mr. Witness, I'd like to play an audio, and the audio is D11-0011-0030, and it is at tab 9. I would like to play timestamp 1.37.06 to 1.44.48, and I request the court officer to assist to give the witness the document. The particular part that I want to play is at page 10, D11-0012-0207. And I'll play that, Mr. Witness. That's at page 3, Mr. Witness, if you're there.
Nafikiria ni personal, lakini tuende kwa kaugudhi, alafu labda utajibu hiyo tukimalizia.
Kwa mimi ile swali ambalo umekuwa nalo la tofauti ya baina ya community hizo mbili,
yes.
We have more to gain being together than being away from each other. Any tribal crash, whether 92, 97, hakuna mmoja wale ambao walifaulu. Wote waliumia. Na anybody.
Mr. Witness, do you recognize that voice?
I can only recognize the voice of Joshua Sanyon.
And Mr. Witness, if I were to tell you that is the voice of Mr. Joseph Kaguthi, does that come back to mind?
I'm not used to his voice, Your Honor.
Mr. President, Kaguthi is Kaguthi. I would like to move on to timestamp 1.43.13 and ask you a few questions after you've listened to it.
Machache kwa sababu unajua hatuna muda. Kuwashukuru tu na kusema njia ya kumaliza ukabila. Mimi nataka kukubaliana na yule alipiga simu kuuliza jambo hii la matusi. Na niseme matusi katika siasa haina pahali. Na nipo mimi kila saa nasema siasa yangu mimi napiga bila matusi na bila chuki. Na wale ambao wanatumia chuki, iwe ni against Raila, iwe ni against Kibaki, iwe ni against Uhuru, iwe ni against Kalonzo, mambo haya haisaidii. Na hapo ndipo chuki inaanza. Na hiyo chuki ndio inaingia kwa supporters wa wale wengine. Na ukabila unatokea hapo. Ile tu nitasema ni ya kwamba sisi kama wanasiasa tuko na jukumu kubwa. Kwa sababu yale ambayo tunanena, yale ambayo tunasema, yote yachangia katika kuleta ukabila katika taifa letu la Kenya. Yatakikana kama viongozi tukae tutafute njia ya kuwasiliana, dialogue when problems arise, not using problems to incite the people, but rather talking with each other, not at each other, to resolve those problems. Na ndio watu wetu waweze kuishi kwa amani na waweze kuishi na umoja. Na huo ndio umekuwa mwito wangu kutoka mwanzo na utaendelea kuwa mwito wangu.
Wakati wa campaign.
Mr. Witness, do you still recognize the voice of Mr. Sang on that audio?
I recognize, Your Honor.
And do you recognize the voice of anybody else other than Mr. Sang in that audio?
Honorable President Uhuru Kenyatta, Your Honor.
Now, I would like to play for you another audio from the same audio. That is timestamp 1.47.12 to 1.48.40, and that is at page 5, Ken D11 0012 0209.
Kwa hiyo leo ningependa tu kusema shukrani kwa siku hii, kwa kutusikiza. Kwa wale ambao umetuma mpige simu atuchukua, tustuie radhi, ni kwa sababu ya muda. Vile vile naona maswali nyingi mno katika SMS, kwa sababu umewapa, ilikuwa ni yao sio yangu mimi. Mimi najaribu kutoa ni wawape. Hata kama watajibu hapa, watakuwa wakijibu katika mikutano yao. Ndio hapa ni watumie maswali, watembee nayo, waende wachunguze moja kwa moja. Hawa watu wa Kalenjin wanasumbuliwa na nini? Ni nini haya? Na tungependa kwa sababu msikilizaji sio wa Kalenjin tu, hata wale Waluya kama wana shida na wa Kalenjin, waketi chini waamue shida hii imetoka wapi. Kama ni wa Kisii na Kalenjin, waketi waamue ni nini. Kwa maana tutaki vitu ambaye itakuwa tu kama juzi tulijaribu sana kuwatuliza watu. Mambo yalipotokea kule Kisii, watu walipanda kidogo na hasira na wakafikiria kufanya. Tukaona kama ni Chingororo ni vijana 3 4 ambao wameamua kuishi katika maisha hiyo, sio wa Kisii wote ambao walifanya jambo hilo. Na ndio tunasema wasikilizaji, tuna mambo yanapotokea vile vile tusijumuishe jamii yote kwa mambo kama, tuangalie imetokana namna gani. Bado tuna wazee waketi waamue nini kiini na shida imetoka wapi. Kwa sababu sisi kama generation, sisi ambao tumezaliwa tu hivi majuzi, tunataka Kenya ingine tofauti, Kenya ya Wakenya wote ambao tunaishi bila kuangalia huyu ni kabila gani, lakini kwa heshima. Kwa hivyo msikilizaji, niseme shukrani kwa
Mr. Witness, I would like to read out to you what Mr. Sang has said, and if you could confirm that's what you heard. And that's at page 5, Mr. Witness, if you are in a position to. And page 5 is Ken D11 0012 0209. So today, I would like to thank you for listening to us today. For those who called in, we did not pick up. Forgive us. It's because we do not have time. And I have seen very many questions coming to us via SMS. And because you gave them the questions, they were not mine. All I do is to transmit it, give it to them. Even if they did not respond to the questions here, they will respond to them in their meetings. So I have given them the questions to ponder, to go and investigate one by one what is disturbing the Kalenjin people, and to you, listener. It's not just the Kalenjin, even the lawyers. If they have any problem with the Kalenjins, to sit down and decide where they have a problem, where have the problems come from. If it is between the Kisi and the Kalenjins, they should sit down and decide what the problem is. This is because we do not want conflict. Just the other day, we tried to calm people when trouble arose in Kisi. People got a bit agitated, and they decided to do conflict. We see that even if it is the Chingororo, Chingororo spelling is Chingororo. Chingororo is made up of 3 or 4 boys who have decided to live that life. It's not the entire Kisi population that started the conflict. And that is why we are saying, dear listener, when things erupt, we should not blame the entire tribe for things like that. Let us see where they came from. We have elders. They should sit down and decide on the root cause of the problem. Because our generation, those of us who were born just recently, we want a different Kenya, a Kenya for all Kenyans, one that will live without tribalism, but will respect with respect. And so, listener, I say thank you. Could you confirm, Mr. Witness, that that's a fair translation of what you heard?
It is, Your Honor.
Page 72, line 1 should read, this is because we do not want conflict. Just the other day, we tried to calm people when trouble arose in Kisi. People got a bit agitated, and they decided to do, into brackets, conflict. Now, Mr. Witness, you had another audio. Mr. President, I don't know if I could request for 10 minutes in the next session. I will definitely not go beyond 10 minutes.
Try and make it shorter than 10 minutes in the next session.
Your Honor, can I suggest perhaps, no objection of course, but would the court be minded that we sit at 2 o'clock instead of 2:30? I'm not pressing the point, but it's just a suggestion.
No, we will come back at 2:30. 2:30. Mr. King, try and make it less than. Try and do whatever you need to do in 5 minutes.
I promise to try, Mr. President.
Witness, it is now time for lunch break, and we will be rising for lunch, and you will come back at 2:30. Thank you. The blinds down, please, for the witness to be escorted from the courtroom.